Hi everyone, I hope you all had a really wonderful equinox, whether it is the autumn equinox or the spring equinox, wherever you are in the world. I meant to make this video over the weekend at the actual equinox. It didn't happen because I've been very busy, but I just had a vague idea that I wanted to talk about my experience with the equinox, talk about my experience with this Sabbat, because I really haven't done that in a really long time. I think I made Wheel of the Year videos for I think roughly 2 years, where every single Sabbat I would record kind of a little chat at the altar. I would record little bits and pieces during the day, maybe if I did anything during the day, and then I would kind of edit it together as a sort of Wheel of the Year vlog. And I felt like those had very good momentum for the first year, and then after that I felt like I don't know, I felt like I didn't have much to say anymore. I felt like they weren't being received particularly well, like they were getting less engagement than my other videos, and I kind of let it slide. But if that's something that you would like to see me do again, then I would probably consider it. Frankly, when I'm here in Edinburgh, I think part of the reason I fell out of the habit was because I don't really have the kind of lifestyle where it's easy for me to plan events where I can kind of bring my camera and take pictures and have a day in nature. I had a really wonderful day this year on the equinox, but it was mayhem. I met 3 different groups of friends, I think. Was it 3? At least 3, yeah. And I had a wonderful Sunday lunch that my friends cooked for us, and it was just like, it was kind of like my Edinburgh family, I think, of that group being, and that was really lovely. And then I was sitting in the park at one point, and then, we were watching The Handmaid's Tale in the evening with like my kind of feminist friends. I mean, pretty much all of my friends here are, I think actually all of my friends here identify as feminists, but you know what I mean. It's a particular group of friends that we meet together and we watch Handmaid's Tale. And it's like I had all of these wonderful things going on in the day that I felt to me were an equinox celebration. Oh, and I went for quite a long run in the morning as well, and it was a beautiful day. It was so sunny. And I kind of wish that I had gotten footage of that, but I don't bring my phone with me when I run, so I have no way of recording that kind of stuff for you. I'm not really necessarily planning to start bringing it with me either, so that would have been very picturesque and lovely with the sun and the trees, because I kind of do this route where I run along what used to be some train tracks down to the sea, and it's just really beautiful, especially with the sun shining and the trees above me, and then, oh, it was just fabulous. So I felt like I did a lot that day that felt like a celebration, and that was my perfect idea of how to spend a Sabbat, like spending it with friends, having a nice meal, being outside, doing fun things like that. And yeah, it would have been difficult for me to record any of it and to share it with you. So what I could do is just record videos like this kind of after the fact and give you a little update on what I did and how I felt and that kind of thing. So it might be like visually less exciting because it's not going to be me like actually taking pictures and bringing you around on the day. But yeah, if that's something that you might want to see, then do let me know. So I've already kind of given you an outline of what I did on the actual day of the equinox, and I didn't organise most of that myself. Most of that just happened to be happening on the day anyway, and I was just quite pleased in the end that I ended up having a very full calendar of social events to go along to, and then my long run, that's been happening on a Sunday anyway as well, so it was kind of happenstance. But I got home in the evening and just felt like it had been a perfect day. Ritual I did the night before, as usual, and it was kind of, I find always at Lunasa but particularly at the autumn equinox, but both of those, but particularly the autumn equinox. I know a lot of you probably call it Mabon, but I don't really use that term. I always find that it's a very, like most of the time I do kind of active imagination or path working during Sabbats, but I find with this time of year, I find myself just talking, like I've got so much to say. And I think it's because this is a time of year for me that is really about the next stage in life. It's really about taking the next step. It's really about taking stock and seeing where I'm at and seeing what needs to be done and seeing how things have changed over the last calendar year. Like I always think of this time of year as being my calendar year change for some reason. Not my birthday in 6 weeks or less than 6 weeks now, not the actual calendar year change. It just, for some reason, yeah, mid to late September, that for me is where the switch happens, and it's partly to do with the academic year turning over at this time. That might actually just be it. But there's something about the change in light and the darkening of the days and this association with harvest, but also with relinquishing, also with release, that I just found to be such a powerful combination. So I always find myself talking. I always find myself giving thanks and talking through everything that I have gained, and it's always very moving. And I think this year in particular, because in the last year, on paper you might think that the main thing I would be thinking about in the last calendar year is loss, because only 7 months ago I we mutually ended a long-term relationship, a partner that I was living with. And you would think that I would be kind of mourning that, but maybe because it was so dramatic, that all kind of passed very quickly. And mostly what I found myself talking about was everything that I have gained this year. And I think just various things have come together for me this year, in the last 12 months, to really put a focus on what it is that I want out of life, and what it is I want to be doing and contributing, and how it is I want to be living, and what it is that I regret not having done yet, and just to actually start doing it. And I'm hugely grateful for that. I'm really, really proud of myself actually for a lot of what I've achieved over the last 12 months and a lot of the progress that I feel like I've made as an individual. But yeah, every single year it always feels like it is that very, very kind of heartfelt, emotional, but chatty kind of ritual, which is really interesting. So yeah, that's pretty much what it was for me. And I whenever I find myself in that kind of mode where I feel like I'm almost playing counselor to myself, I start to ask myself, in sacred space in particular, I start to ask myself, is this spiritual, and who am I talking to? And I just had this overwhelming sense of, yes, it's spiritual, because everything that I do is part of my spiritual life. All of these projects and changes that I'm talking about and thinking about and giving thanks for are all connected to my sense of the world as a spiritual place, of cosmos as being sacred, especially with all of just my different kind of creative output, all of my creative expression. It is all just different forms of the same kind of creative expression that I do through ritual, through my spiritual practice. It's just a different form of the same thing, especially with my writing. That's another thing that I've been doing a lot this year. Not only writing, working on my novel, which I've just made a video on, which will be either it's already been posted or it will be posted after this video. But another thing that I've been doing a lot of creatively this year is writing songs, and I recorded 3 songs. A friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, very kindly spent an evening recording 3 of my songs. And they're not perfect because we didn't have a lot of time, but they're a final product, and there's something that I can give to other people and listen back to myself, that actually have like a high quality of sound. They're actually a high quality recordings, as opposed to just like my little recordings that I make on my phone sometimes to just remember songs and remember verses and so on. But all of that is just part of the same kind of expression of my sense of this world as having some kind of greater meaning. I don't think I would be an artist, a writer, because I use the word artist to cover all different forms of creative expression, but I don't think, actually including the spiritual, but I don't think I would be an artist if I didn't have this just feeling that can't be expressed properly just purely through words, through factual words, or I don't think it can just be expressed through any one thing that I do in my life. I think I just feel this abundant need to just keep expressing this feeling, this experience of life in so many different ways. And not just out of a kind of a fear of death that I think a lot of people associate with kind of artistic drive, this sense that the artist is really just looking to immortalize themselves and their experience, and in the face of a kind of fear of death. I think it's not only that, it also is a celebration of life. It's this kind of awestruck celebration of like, holy shit, this crazy thing that I'm experiencing, I must find ways to explore it, because I can't wrap my head around it. I can't just solidify it in one image or one sentence or one way of expression. So I realized that. I thought, yeah, like all of these things that I'm talking about right now, all the different things that I've been doing this year, all the different things I've achieved this year, or even not even just achieved is it's not a great word. For me, I have icky associations with the word achieve, but everything that I've been throwing myself into in the last 12 months, and some of that has been, some of that has just been video games or reading novels or spending time with friends or watching movies. I've watched a lot of films in the last 12 months as well. So it's not always productive or like achievement, but all of it has really, I feel like I've been coming back to myself and myself as a spiritual being, as somebody having a spiritual experience, for want of better words, in the last 12 months. And so sitting in sacred space and acknowledging all the different things that I have been doing and I have been experiencing is really meaningful spiritually. And then I also thought, well, who am I talking to? And I realized I'm talking to myself, but I am the ears of cosmos. And in just the same way that I feel like the human consciousness is the divine cosmos looking back on itself, so that we as humans are the eyes of the universe, of God or Goddess, so too I am the ears of God or Goddess. I am the divine cosmos listening to myself speak. And I don't know if I can really express that any more clearly than that. It's more of a feeling when I get that sense of interconnectedness and of me not being divorced from the rest of reality and the rest of cosmos. Then talking to myself in an empty room has meaning. Thinking things even to myself silently has meaning, and has significance, because it's all part of this greater whole. It's and especially I think expressing things out loud, it's another form of expression, and to me expression really is particularly sacred. I think there's something about putting things back out there rather than just thinking it in your head that really solidifies things, that really makes it feel like you've solidified it, or that you've made it real somehow. And that's important to me, and it is all about kind of giving back to this cycle of creation or something. Yeah, I'm really struggling to describe that, like I say, but it was a really meaningful thought for me, and I thought, yeah, like sitting here in sacred space and journaling or thinking about my life or thinking about, sometimes it feels like very mundane stuff that I'm concerning myself with and that I'm thinking about, but for a pantheist, there's no such thing really as mundane, or it doesn't have to be. Anything can be connected to the sacred. So yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to say about my experience this equinox. I think whether or not I get any particular encouragement to do so, I may very well pick back up this habit, but I might just talk to the camera like this and not try to necessarily incorporate photographs or vlogging footage out and about, because like I said, realistically that probably won't happen. But I wouldn't mind using this channel again as a little bit of a kind of wheel of the year kind of diary or a journal in a way, because I think it's a good way for me to channel my own experiences into something that might be helpful or inspirational to you guys. So yeah, I hope you all had a wonderful equinox. I hope you're all doing well. As always, do like this video and comment down below with any thoughts that you might have. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so that you get notified every time I upload. And thanks again for watching. Thank you so much to all my viewers who continually come back here to the channel and watch my videos and engage and comment. And yeah, I am eternally grateful for all of you, and I may not express that enough, but I am. Just know that that having this channel, having this viewership, having this interaction with you is really meaningful to me, really important to me, and I value you all so much.